everybody. Welcome back to the Newman Bond. My name is Jack Schaefer. I'm the Digital Community Specialist here at Newman University. And today I have the great pleasure of being with Rachel Cheek, Assistant Professor of Healthcare Professions here at Newman University. You might know her as one of the newest faculty award winners, which just got awarded prior to the break, that long break that we've been on. But Rachel, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. And since I brought it up already, I'm putting the cart a little bit before the horse, but for those Faculty Excellence Awards.
Yes.
So take me through that experience for you, because I heard that you didn't even want to get nominated for it.
I hadn't planned.
And the dean kind of encouraged you to do so, and then you ended up winning it. So can you just take me through that whole little story there?
Yeah, so it's, you have to apply. And the application is kind of annoying and long, and they want you to pull all kinds of stuff, and they need this and that sort of stuff. And we were in the middle of getting ready to go dark and all kinds of student admissions and advising and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, I don't have time for this.
Sure.
And Tim Cho was like, you should apply. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yes, please.
Yeah, maybe he had an idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, so I know that he encouraged several other people from the department to apply, all fantastic professors.
Sure.
But I don't think anybody from healthcare professions had applied previously, and so he's like, no, we need to make our names known here. So I spent 3 days trying to put that stupid application together. And, so got it all together, kind of I'm just like, yay! I nearly quit 2 or 3 times. My brother's like, no. I'm like, I can't say I'm a good teacher. Yeah. Right? Other people are supposed to say I'm a good teacher.
Sure,
right?
I don't want to nominate myself for this.
It's absolutely silly, right?
It's like giving yourself your own nickname in middle school, right? You don't want to do that. You want somebody else to do it.
Somebody else has to do it, and you decide whether you own that or not, right?
Yeah.
And my brother's like, no, just think of it as being nominated, and now you have to fill out the requirement. So filled it out, kind of let that go. Was shocked and delighted to be just in the top 5.
Sure.
I was pretty sure I wasn't gonna go any further than that, but yay, it was lovely, wonderful, so much, and just absolutely shocked.
Yeah.
Because all of the nominees were wonderful.
Sure.
Absolutely fantastic, and just. Yeah.
One line from the article, I had to write it down just because I thought it was very intriguing. So when you hear, so this is a colleague of yours speaking, and I don't know who it is. Maybe you know who it is since the awards have gone by, but her students trust her colleagues rely on her, and our campus is better because of her. What does that mean to you when you hear that? Those are some great compliments right there from a colleague. So you've obviously made a huge impact on the university.
Yes. Again, I just get a little so one of my primary goals with teaching is to create safety first with the students in particular, because people can't learn if they don't feel safe. And that's something that I've found through my experience with healthcare as well. When you're in fight or flight, your brain shuts down, it doesn't absorb, it doesn't change, it just survives. And so these students are in this incredibly stressful situation,
sure,
particularly in the nursing program. And if they're in fight or flight, they can't learn. So every day I get up and I try and figure out how I can create a safe space while I'm stressing them out of their minds.
Sure.
Right? So to hear that it was working, that the students did trust, and it was something that I was being successful in, because it's very important to me.
Yeah.
Was just extremely validating.
Yeah.
That it's working.
Yeah, of course it is.
All that work that you're doing, it's worth something.
Yeah, and what are some of those ways, if you don't mind me asking, what are some of those ways you make your students comfortable, or that you
try.
You try as best you can?
Trying to be as consistent as possible, right? If I here's the requirements, putting all the requirements out ahead of time, and not making sure that if something has to change, it changes to the student's benefit and not against them.
Sure.
So they know what to expect every single time. Being as approachable as possible, which means sometimes, perhaps not as professional as people think you should be.
Yeah.
But then make sure that, you know, students feel good about coming and talking to you if you need something.
Yeah. I think that's a great thing about the university in general.
Yes.
I was a student here too, and like I felt that way. I felt like I was almost friends with my professors.
You can come and just talk to people, and then show them that you care about them, right? Like just in a million and one little ways. Like no, I care about you guys, and these terrible things, like terrible, not terrible. It's just the assignments, but these really hard things I'm asking you to do. It's because I care about you, and here's why we're doing it. It's not just a hard thing because I want to torture you. It's here's how we learn, and this is what we're doing. Like, just the most transparency you can possibly get. Because the students are grown-ups, right? They can think through all this sort of stuff on their own.
Of course.
So the more information you can give them, the safer they feel, I think.
Yeah, no, I would, as a student, not in healthcare professions, but I could definitely understand why that would help, for sure. So you went to Bethel College, right?
For my nursing degree.
Okay, gotcha, for your nursing degree. And then when you moved to Wichita, it was 2008. So yeah, you don't have a big digital footprint, but I found some stuff. So you start working at St. Joe's, the emergency.
In the emergency room,
Okay, so I saw on that profile there that your experience specifically at St. Joe's was kind of what changed your trajectory specifically into women's healthcare.
Yes.
So was there a specific moment that happened there, or an experience that happened there that made you kind of switch, not switch paths, but just kind of change it? Yeah, a little bit.
The ER is rough.
Yeah.
And at the time in particular, St. Joe ER was particularly rough. Because that's where all this psych patients, all the legitimate, all of the people who had legitimate mental health concerns were sent to St. Joe, along with all of the other people that, well, we don't know, they're too drunk, they're too passed out, they're too high, we're not sure if this is psych or whether this is
Sure.
So all of those patients were getting shipped in there. And so there was a lot of mental health, there was a lot of suicide watches and restraints, and it was very, very stressful situation. And on top of that, St. Joe is also where the labor and delivery is.
Okay, gotcha.
So we were having all of these, it was psych and women's health. All of the pregnant women would go upstairs to labor and delivery, but we're doing all kinds of gynecology and watching how terrible gynecology is in the ER, right? It's just awful.
Yeah.
In ways I really thought we'd outgrown this level of sexism and like bias and stuff, and just like some of the stuff I watched there. And so I spent 6 years there, getting really, really burnt out, slapping Band-Aids on amputations, right? Like these things would come through, and we would sober them up and then tell them to go see their provider, which they didn't have one.
Sure.
So they would just come back every 10 days and slowly dying of liver failure or diabetes or whatever. And then also watching just the terrible situation of these women trying to come through getting help. Kind of made me want to stop doing, like do something, like make a difference about this, and so I decided to go back and get my master's degree, and certified nurse midwife seemed like a really, really good place to do that, because it was a little bit like the ER, still dynamic situations, ins and outs, all that sort of stuff, but also I could follow up on the patients and follow through and make a difference in this space.
Yeah, so how has your experience been being a certified midwife then? Because was that what you were doing in between teaching and going to, and your full-time job, I should say. Yeah.
So I got my master's degree and figured I'd just go to work. The political situation in Wichita is such that it's really hard for a certified nurse midwife to get a job.
Oh no!
Really, really hard, which I wasn't aware of until I had the degree.
Yeah.
And so I ended up getting a job at Health Corps Clinic, which is FQHC.
Okay.
So FQHC is a federally funded health clinic, which helps low insurance, no insurance, whoever comes in, we will get you what you need, and try to get you somewhere else if that we can't take care of it.
Sure.
And so I did women's health, pregnancy care there. For a number of years, and then worked for Mid-Kansas and was catching babies at Wesley for a while.
And I like that term, catching babies.
Yeah, there you go. I have delivered 2 babies. I have an 8-year-old son and I have a 9-year-old son. Those are the 2 babies I have delivered. Everything else is catching.
There you go.
Right? Those women deliver the babies.
Yeah.
I don't do the hard work. But yeah, so it's catching babies at Wesley, and that job went away very unexpectedly.
Gotcha.
And I was just kind of in this space. My husband had just quit his full-time job, right? Because I was working 2 jobs, and it was going to be good. And so he'd quit because he'd wanted to start his own business at home. And so I'm like, I have to have a job that has insurance.
Yeah.
And I'd always kind of thought that teaching would be something I did when I got too old to catch, because catching babies is very physically demanding.
Yeah.
You're up
I could
24
imagine.
hours at a time, like up and down, and with all those mamas, you're doing a lot of bending and lifting, and it was fine, but I could see it like 10, 15 years down the road where my body's not going to take this anymore.
Yeah.
And so suddenly I didn't have a job, really needed a job, and just on a whim kind of said, oh, I can teach, I'm good, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And so that, I just kind of picked it up on a whim, honestly. I am delighted to find that it is something that I really enjoy, and it seems I'm fairly good at.
Yeah, obviously so, if you get recognized for it. So what are some of your favorite parts of teaching?
I like the creativity part of it. When you're doing clinic all day, there's a level of creativity and problem solving there. But it's just a different space of putting together PowerPoints and trying to come up with teaching examples and all that sort of stuff. I really like the variety that I get to have as a nursing professor. I spend some time in the hospital, like doing the labor stuff that I really, really like with the students, as well as doing some lecture and trying to figure out like how to do that.
Yeah.
And so I really like a little bit of ADHD.
And me too.
I'm an ER nurse,
I
right?
get it.
ER is that is what we need, is just a little bit of adrenaline. So the variety is spectacular. And then again, I really appreciate the fact that I'm like, no, I'm doing a thing that makes a difference.
Yeah. And when you're speaking of doing this thing specifically at Newman, how did you find Newman of all places? Local? Was that a big part of it?
I had heard somebody talking about how the maternal newborn nurse or professor was going to retire. Joan Melzer was getting ready to retire, and so I had heard somebody talking about this going away. And so, like, when I lost my job very unexpectedly, I just went and looked. I'm like, I applied several different places.
Sure.
But I applied all over. So yeah, it was just local, and it was kind of a whim.
Nice.
And I'm delighted that I'm here.
What are some things about the university that you've either learned since your time, because you've been here since 2022?
Yeah.
Either learned or learned about the students specifically, or the school in general.
So because I'm a nursing professor, I am largely I've got my nursing students right here. So, but I love the fact that it's a small program, that I can learn all the names of my students. I could go find them if I need them, right? And so I really like that. I did not grow up Catholic. I grew up Mennonite Brethren, which in some ways is like the complete opposite end from Catholicism, right? Very like wooden benches, wooden churches, where Catholicism has a lot of that drama in the best way, right? Like it's
extravagant almost.
The vestments and all this is intended to, but it's completely different.
Yeah.
And yet, the more I'm here, the more I'm learning about Catholicism. They're very the two are very similar in the importance of social justice and human dignity and all of these things. And so it feels, in some ways, it's a little bit weird and strange to me, and yet in some ways it just makes a lot of sense. because it's just
Sure. So when you were a kid, so you said your kids are 8 and 9 years old. Okay, so you're 9 years old, imagine. So what did you want to be when you grew up at 9 years old?
Right. I wanted to be a writer.
You want to be a writer?
I wanted to be a writer.
And now you get to write assignments, kind of.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I
tried to be.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah. Did you have any creative writing ideas that you knew, like little Rachel knew this was gonna go big. This was gonna be the best.
I have like 2 novels sitting in the top of my closet that will never see the light of day.
No way. So no Newman Bond feature of these novels.
Absolutely not. It's I wanted to be an actress. I did I went to Bethel for my nursing degree. I have another degree from Tabor College.
Oh, okay.
And that's all communications and theater and philosophy and all the humanities stuff.
Sure.
And so I wanted to be an actress, and I thought I was going to be a doctor.
Yeah. Did you have any favorite actors or actresses who played doctors growing up?
No.
I know my mom, she loved McDreamy or what on I can't even Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy.
So Grey's Anatomy I'm old enough that Grey's Anatomy was a brand spanking shiny thing when I started running ER, when I run EMS and fire and all that sort of stuff, and I'm just like, that's not how that is.
That's not realistic.
I've never seen anyone having sex in the supply room. I can't do this.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, what is going on? They're focusing way too much on other things that aren't actually happening.
That is very unhygienic, guys. Seriously.
You're funny. That is funny. So what were some of the shows growing up that you liked, or because I know, I feel like a lot of kids, they grow up, they want to be writers, they want to be actors, and then maybe they find a specific career path. But was there anything in particular that you really liked or that stood out to you?
Not when I was a kid, really. Yeah. I remember being in college and Scrubs.
Oh, yeah.
Scrubs was a medical show that I could handle.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so it's not real, but they're not pretending like they're real.
Sure.
This is real.
They kind of know what they are.
Right, but they're also finding the heart of a lot of that stuff, so I really appreciated Scrubs. I the shift from theater, from movies to nursing came when I was getting my communications degree at Tabor, and writing and acting and doing all these things, and I'm like, yeah, but what are we going to do with it, right? Because I'm getting a communications degree,
Sure.
and they're teaching me all these communication theories, and I'm like, yeah, but what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Right, and they're like, well, earn trust.
Yes.
And then deliver the, and I'm like, yeah, but what, the actual thing,
yes.
Right? What do we actually do? And I was like, it just depends on you.
Yeah, well, it depends on what you want to do.
Right, and at the same time, I'd on a whim had gotten my EMTB. Emergency medical technician basic.
Okay.
Because one of my physics teachers in high school had been one, and I loved her stories.
Gotcha.
So I started writing volunteer with just the Hillsborough emergency response.
Gotcha.
And that was when I'm like, do.
Yes.
Things I can do.
Exactly. You had a more direct path.
I have a direct path.
Well, at least if you ever want to go back into the acting or communication thing, you know a great script of a realistic hospital TV show. It doesn't have to have any relationships with everybody else in there. It can be specifically about the real stuff.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Pit? People talk about The Pit all the time.
No, I haven't seen it. Again,
okay.
I have an 8 and 9-year-old and 2 jobs, so the only TV I get is Bluey.
Yes, I've heard great things about Bluey.
Pokemon Destiny.
There we go.
You
know everything about those two shows.
I've got these down on lock, and then otherwise I don't have a lot of time.
That's funny.
I did go see Water for Elephants. Was in town.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Last night I went to go see that, and I'm like, I need to get an acting job.
Hey,
that would be amazing.
I think you're great. You're very you can. I mean, it's obviously helped you act on the spot. I'm sure.
Right,
I'm sure you've had to do that. I know that's more improv, not written dialogue scripting. But with your career, you've had to do a lot of that for sure.
Well, yeah. So with acting, Like you learn how to like project your character,
Sure.
right? And how do you need to hold your body and hold your face, and how does your voice sound and all that sort of stuff. And like even before I was teaching, you walk into a patient's room, and you've got to get them to trust you.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, especially at healthcare, I'm dealing with people who have no reason to trust a rich white woman. I'm not rich, but
Sure.
I have, and they have a lot of reason to mistrust the medical system. They've harmed, like all that sort of stuff. So I'm like, okay, this person who has no reason to trust me needs to trust me, because otherwise, why would they do what I asked them to do to make
like
them healthier?
what you said with the
Right. So what does that need to look like? How do I need to hold my body? How do I need to change my voice so that I'm not a threat? I am sincere. So I was like, depending on the patient, I would change my manner and just not lie, but just very like
Sure.
to make sure that I was communicating what I want.
Yeah.
So that was something that I was like theater, like I have students all the time. They're like, why do I have to take these creative spirit classes? This
Sure.
is silly. I'm like, listen, if you can't communicate, you can't be a nurse,
Yeah.
right? And the better communicator you are, the better nurse you will be. And theater teaches you how to communicate.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think you and Mark Manette need to have a collaboration class or something.
I am
you know?
in on this.
Yeah.
I need to talk to
Maybe you'll see this and check it out.
Mark,
Yeah.
call me.
Well, Rachel,
yeah.
I have a couple either ors for you, or rapid fire questions, okay? You ready
Okay.
for this?
Yes.
All right. So coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Why is that?
50% of my diet is coffee.
Sounds good. That's a good enough reason for me. Early mornings or late nights?
Late nights.
Okay. Is that because of working?
I worked nights for 12 years. Well, 6 years and then like scattered call after that.
Okay. Scrubs or business casual?
Business casual?
Or, scrubs or anything else. We'll just go with that.
Anything else?
Anything else? Are the scrubs not super comfortable? Or you're like, I've spent
so much time in scrubs. I put scrubs on and I'm at work.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm like, we gotta go.
Yeah, you associate it
Where's
with
the emergency?
Yeah,
right?
there we
And
go.
so it's not a safe, comfortable thing.
Gotcha. Now, when traveling, city or quiet getaway?
Quiet getaway.
Okay, quiet getaway. Does that involve going to the mountain? Would you consider it snowboarding?
I would consider snowboarding. It's not big city. It's smallish in a way.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't like big cities.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then organized planner or go with the flow?
Oh. I have to plan because the ADHD won't let me, otherwise things don't happen.
You like the type A part of your mind is
Right.
like really wanting, it needs to take over.
Things
That type B.
Things have to happen, and if I don't plan it, it will not happen,
Sure,
right?
sure.
Like I don't have the executive function to track all of this stuff
Yeah.
otherwise.
That's
I have to
funny.
muscle it into happening.
Yeah, that's funny. And I know this question might put you on the spot a little bit because it kind of did earlier. But
Okay.
so in my rapid fire, one word your students could describe you, what do you think that one word would be of your students describing you?
The one I get most often is passionate.
Passionate? That's great.
Yeah.
That is I'm sure that makes you feel great. And yeah.
I mean, it's true. I care a lot about the material that I'm teaching.
Good.
And I don't hide my feelings well.
Yeah.
But why should I? And the stuff that I teach is the coolest stuff in the world.
Yeah.
And is central to women's health specifically and the greater health in general. If women and babies are not well, nobody's well.
Sure.
Right? It's just this keystone because everybody gets born.
Yeah, the foundation. Yeah.
Like
and how do you get born?
Everybody has spent time in a uterus.
Yeah.
Every single person in the world has spent time in a uterus.
Yeah.
So it's not just taking care of 50% of the population. It's not specialty care. Every single person is affected by this area of healthcare. And so if we can do that well and right, the ripple effect, it's very effective, efficient care.
I love that. Especially, it is a foundation because
It's foundational.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe only women have babies, but
Right.
100% of the population comes,
Everybody's been a baby.
Exactly.
So-
Everybody's been there.
So there's a lot of community health and even population health, like the markers of whether a population is well is infant mortality, stillbirth rates, miscarriage
Sure.
rates, all these sort of stuff, because that's where it all starts.
Yeah.
Right. So if we can take care of our mothers, then it's not like I don't like men. I'm married to one. Like that's not the point. But
Exactly.
if we can take care of the mothers, then I am taking care of everybody.
Yeah.
else. Yeah.
No, I agree. I see that.
Yeah.
I definitely see that. Was there a moment, so with COVID and working in healthcare, how was that for you? What was that experience like? Did you just get run to the ground with how, like, I could only imagine how
it was
much.
so stressful.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, oh yeah, everything's shut down, and we're just home a lot, and all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, I picked up a second job, and
Yeah.
I was like, I remember, like, December 2020, like, laboring with a woman who we weren't sure if she had COVID yet or not, but she's like, I'm wearing a mask, but she's like breathing down my mask because she's like leaning on my shoulder because she's in the middle of this contraction.
Of course.
And I was like, I might die. And that was just, but that's like the common experience of so many healthcare providers.
Yeah.
Is like the nurses and the MAs and the respiratory techs, everybody is just in this, it's not flight, it's full fight, adrenaline rush. I don't know if we're going to die, but we're going to keep doing our jobs, darn it.
Yeah. That's such a respect, like, only a very few people can say that. I know. I don't know what I would have done if I was in the healthcare industry. I would have just given. I would be like, I'm sorry. I
So
can't.
many people
I can't.
did, and it's not because they're weak or
Sure.
because like they couldn't hack it, but it was rough.
Yeah, it was difficult.
It was rough.
Yeah. Well, glad to be out of it now.
Yes.
For sure. For sure. So, what are
Yes.
you looking forward to for this semester and beyond? Personally or
Yeah.
professionally?
I was
you don't have to
thinking
keep
about
it just
that.
professionally.
Yeah, I've got a very small number of students this semester, so I'm really kind of excited to like look at some of my material and see if I can't like reorganize it into something that's better, makes more sense, is a more natural flow. So just kind of playing, doing some of that sort
Sure.
of stuff. I'm really excited about that. We're talking about trips this summer. Don't know if we're gonna do, whether we're gonna go to Colorado. My husband wants to hike a 14er.
Oh, sure.
Haven't decided if I'm going to do that or not yet. It's not my chosen form of exercise.
Yeah,
so,
hiking. You'd rather go down a snowy mountain, not up a dry one, right?
No,
know?
you
Yeah.
get a ski lift to take you up the mountain, and then you power down it.
That seems like the easiest way to do it,
right.
for sure. The most fun way to do
Yeah.
it. But so potentially Colorado?
Potentially Colorado. Sonia Von Traeger's trying to talk me into going to Guatemala.
Oh,
so,
yes.
I don't know if that's happening this summer.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That
I
would
was
be
in her
fun.
Spanish class back in the day, and she
Yeah.
tried to get me there too. I was like, you're a great professor. I don't think I would be great there. I don't know if I would be great. But hey, a warm climate, that's for sure. That's nice.
Yeah, it'd be beautiful.
Yeah, awesome.
So and then just like, it's a good life, so.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, it was good to get to know you a little bit,
Yeah.
Rachel. Did you have anything you wanted to mention that we didn't cover in this little podcast here that you want to share with the world?
Like nothing on top of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already like talked about how like women's health is absolutely critical, and again, I get so wound up when people talk about it as a specialty. Because I'm like, okay, but it's like 50% of the world.
Yeah.
And like I said, everybody spends time in a uterus.
Exactly.
It doesn't feel like a specialty, like, and everyone's like, oh, but what? Ugh. And I'm like, but no! Come on now.
Come Come on.
Like everybody needs to know about this. Everybody needs to pay attention to this, because even if you don't have a uterus, you're being affected by it, right? Like this whole thing. And so, yeah.
I think the conviction is very important. And that actually reminds me of something that we could end on. So if you had a prospective student, college student, I should say, thinking about going into healthcare, wasn't quite sure, what would you tell them? How obviously it's very rewarding with what we've talked about. If they've listened to this thing, they know it's rewarding. But what's something you would tell a prospective healthcare student?
You will always have a job, and you will always have options within that job, right? So, nursing. I'm a nurse. That's where I am. So, but as a nurse, like you work in a hospital, and that's usually what most people think about is the nurses in the hospital working med-surg or ICU or labor and delivery and all that sort of stuff. But you can work in a school. You can do research. You can teach like I am. You can work for medical technology companies, teaching other people how to use the tech or developing the tech, or even like educational or interpreter services, or like the nursing training, even if you don't want to work in a hospital, provides you with all of the opportunities. And so you will never regret having, again, like I said, nursing, but RT or radiology, you will never regret having that background. Even if you decide that's not what you want to do, having that training is invaluable. And I think it's the best job in the world.
Well, that's a great way to end it, I think. So if you stayed this long, you have all the advice you possibly could need. Rachel, thank you so much once again.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks for tuning in to the Newman Bond. We are available every first and third Tuesday of the month. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye.